Well, hello again. I am Suren. Let us talk and continue with what we have been considering about in regards to what Earth reveals. You remember, you are vast and capable of connecting with the deepest cosmos and grounding it into Earth. If you look carefully into historical records and manuscripts, you will find that the crop circle graphics are not a phenomenon found only in this century. These of sound and light geometry frequently come and go from the Earth plane. They are one way that communication between life forms is gently being introduced to your kind. They do a lot more than just a ship landing with strange beings saying, "Hey, we are here." Sometimes they confound your scientific community and make them look almost foolish, but somewhat with humor, of course. It is time for humanity to question everything. It is time for you to question everything. In particular, to inquiring of those who claim to have all the answers. Some realities are merging, getting together, and many unusual events, as with ancient sacred sites, the calendars and the libraries and stone structures are beginning to make themselves be known. So to say, speak. We can say that the crop circles act as a herald, an accelerator announcing with intricate and elegant simplicity, the paradigm shift is upon you. Geometry and mathematics in general, but particularly fractals coupled with planetary and space-related knowledge, are the basis for the construction of dimensional gateways, for instance. They are like this. Knossos on the island of Crete, Stonehenge, the Great Pyramids, the Acropolis, Delphi, Machu Picchu, Tiahuanaco, and many others serve as openings to other dimensions. In fact, these structures built through the ages and the usage and application of sacred geometry totally confound present-day sciences on planet Earth. Light can create distortions in realities, and in order to work with light, we must be able to bend the geometry. What is missing in modern-day architecture on your planet is the combination of light and geometry. In other words, the influence of light on the third dimensional form is not taken into consideration with your modern architecture. Therefore, your buildings collapse because light is not factored in when they are built. After a while, they erode or are destroyed. Even there is no fires, wars, earthquakes going on in your world. There is also a mental distortion that prevents geometric structures from anchoring themselves more permanently on this plane of existence, because your human capabilities are, sorry to say, incomplete. As linked through your DNA, you cannot mentally assist a structure in maintaining itself into being. All influences, both inner and outer, must be available. Additionally, the elements of earth, air, fire, and water are as crucial to consider as the element of human thought. Geometry conveys its own teachings as it manifests into physical form. It has an impact, and there is an instant transmission of energy from the geometrical forms or fractals into the physical body. This is a gift of the gods, if you like, to humans in order to create a higher ideal. The geometry of the gods, as we said, is transduced into a geometry that exists in the third dimensional form. This shape and size radiate to the essence of sacred geometry, creating knowledge transmitted from dimension to other dimensions. Perhaps you do not realize that you yourselves have different physical shapes. For example, dolphins are said to be like another version of humans. Wonder on. Dolphins exist not only in water, but on land and in the air. They exist in many dimensions at once. A joyous nature is one of their most outstanding characteristics. It arises from a very highly evolved consciousness that knows it is never destroyed. A consciousness that has a deep bonding with its human counterpart, who sadly has forgotten and believes that it is destroyed. Dolphins and whales create specific sound vibrations, as you know, to hold the materials of your planet together that you may not know. Like you, these creatures are descendants of ancient beings from the stars. Believe it or not, your cats and dogs are the same. And they are here to transfer to you the ancient wisdom and truths for maintaining and loving your planet. Now, once again, dolphins and whales are members of the family of light. And for eons, they have carried frequencies from some of your ancient civilizations. The dolphins of your Atlantean culture were coded before the demise of that civilization and were given much information to retain and pass on genetically and telepathically. They are presently transmitting that information to the human species. They are also giving you a message that is clear. Their quality of life is in question. And in their quality of life, that is, if that is a question, so is yours. They are a mirror for you at this time. Did you know that dolphins are leaving your planet in great numbers now? Now, only do they not beach themselves upon your shores, they also catch themselves purposely in the fishing nets when you observe your news. Remember that dolphins are very smart creatures. They are not victims, but are leaving the planet to you, because it is time for you to take stewardship. As it is transferred or channeled, animals trust themselves and know that they simply change form for when they die. There is a new world forming. So many of the species that are becoming extinct actually moving through dimensional vibrations, frequencies, and advancing onto a new earth, a new world, as the old earth is dying. Countless numbers of you seek to swim with dolphins because you respond to an inner coding that creates a new vibrational frequency as a result of your contact with the dolphins. This frequency connects you with your heritage and your right to know who you are. It has not always been easy to come to Earth to assist your kind. Yet there have been energies from the stars who have seeded various cultures, offering education for those the biogenetically rearranged humans, and encoding them with light for the purpose of holding fragments of knowledge upon the planet for 500 or 5,000 or even 10,000 years. When each civilization was finished, its artifacts were passed on or else submerged into the earth. Each civilization that held a vestige of light always in some way created artifacts that told stories. These artifacts were sequestered for epochs of time to emerge only when they could be properly interpreted. Your planet Earth stores many remnants of civilizations, some of which sprang from a point you would call the future. Your now can be seeded and influenced from many directions. Some of the so-called foundation stones of your current world, believed to be not remnants from the past. Distortions can be constructed in the future to plant it in the now and appear as if they came from a point a long time gone by. Planted artifacts can purposely divert you from understanding the identities of so-called invisible rulers that you perhaps call gods or angels. If you can't reach the point of understanding that the material realm is a symbolic representation and not get lost in hoarding, then there are many magnificent artifacts that can reappear. Your planet needs yet numerous changes to go through over the next few years. And these ancient artifacts, laden with coded knowledge, will begin to re-emerge, come to the surface at the end of these times, as also shown within the Mayan calendar. There will then be an anchoring of many dimensions. This will reveal the mystery behind existence, life on Earth, and it will be as if Earth suddenly blossoms overnight, even after some portions seemingly be destroyed physically. You may have visions of these happenings, even now, and people are drawn to specific places and report of seeing different forms. Perhaps no one else will see the artifacts because a particular awareness is necessary to pull them into this three-dimensional existence of yours, and you need to learn the importance of your home planet and value it, and her mysteries will continue to unfold and fill you with awe. Various cultures have left their imprints all over the world, permeating and peddling their vibrations through language and sound, music, as well as through the artifacts of stone and gold. There were codes of conduct by which people lived in ancient times. In Delphi, to know thyself was considered a key to living. Knowing thyself embodied the concept of going within and exploring versions of the multidimensional self, discovering more questions and answers, and access to other worlds, other planets. The codes of conduct concluded that you were to take nothing in excess, and that you were to always show respect and properly value what was around you. Today, your kind is pushed to consider codes of conduct and communication in order to re-establish a world in which all things are significant. Your uniqueness lies in your diversity and the innumerable ways in which you call as humans have sought to experience and interpret reality in your own ways. Tibetans, for instance, understood the meaning of Earth's cosmic keys. There's a portal in Tibet. A huge energetic opening. When visitors wish to come to your house, they can come through the window, believe it or not. However, it really is easier for them to enter through the door. Planets also have doors through which you enter. They are the portals and are composed of corridors of time. So when you enter a planet, how do you know which era you will end up in when all time is simultaneous? That's a good question. The ability to locate events in time takes great mastery of self within the moment, and it is not an easy task. The Tibetans basically, up until 1950s, diligently maintained an energy doorway, a pathway, over the hundreds of years. They have acted as guardians and emissaries for those who ventured through. The Tibetans have been working with extraterrestrials for eons. But you wouldn't know. At one time, the region known as Himalayas was at sea level. Under the mountains of Tibet, there were huge veins of gold and caves filled with crystals. There are artifacts stored there that indicate the ancientness of civilization. Included are many physical bodies that have been preserved. The Tibetans had a predilection for preservation just as the Egyptians did, only they had a different method involving gold. The Egyptians employed the mummification process, which involved a memory from Atlantean times, when people were rejuvenated and restored if their DNA was intact. This possibility is currently being rediscovered and applied today. Ancient Tibetans did something else, something different. They were not looking to rejuvenate the body so much as preserve and maintain the frequency of consciousness that the body had achieved in a given lifetime. They would mummify, we use the term loosely of course here, the body in gold, outside and inside. It was a complex process that took many months to complete. If a person achieved a rare state of consciousness and maintained this frequency throughout life, then when the lifetime was completing, a summons appeared. It was issued requesting the person's retreat deep into the formidable mountains. Called by the masters, the person sat and awaited for the time of death in a certain position. When death came and the spirit evacuated the body, couriers immediately began a procedure to preserve the body, layering it with gold to stabilize and hold rare frequencies of consciousness that were prized above all things. Hundreds of these statues exist underneath the mountains of Tibet. Today, those privy to this information understand that they can blend with these preserved vibrations and access particular frequencies of consciousness. One of the greatest Mayan secrets, on the other hand, was their hidden gold caches and their understanding of how gold functioned. The Maya were not foolish or primitive and did not flaunt their gold. They made it seem as if they did not need gold. Gold is part of what allows dimensional doorways or pathways to be opened. It anchors portals and brings about transmutation and is reserved for more than costumes, crowns, masks, and jewelry. It holds the highest vibration and is a premier conductor of electrical current. When gold is stored, all created in great abundance. Light portals can be opened and accessed to other dimensions unfolds. Gold caches around the globe are not need to be spent or hoarded. That's the rule of thumb. They contain great secrets that utilize to open doorways and anchor energy. There are huge veins and rivers of gold conducting frequencies throughout the planet Earth that are an essential part of life. The ancient Egyptians believed that the veins of the gods were made of gold. Throughout medieval Europe, the pursuit of alchemical gold intrigued many a man and woman. Within Earth, gold is most often accompanied by quartz crystals, which are modern-day founding stones in all your communication devices. It is important to understand that gold is a cornerstone for civilizations. They are brought into being through the influence of this substance. Remember, in the ancient records of your race from Sumeria, stories are recorded of the gods who tens and thousands of years earlier ventured out in search of gold. Well, of course, that brings us to the subject of Saint Germain. And we will come to that in one of our next programs. Enough is said for today, and I shall meet you again by the next episode. In the meantime, smile and be happy. And thank you.